In the spring of 1945, World War II in Europe was reaching its end. Nazi Germany was collapsing, not from one direction, but from two. From the west came the American army. From the east came the Soviet Red Army. They spoke different languages, they lived under different systems, and they had very different visions for the future. But in that moment, they shared one goal: defeat Nazi Germany. This story is about a meeting that changed history, a handshake on a riverbank, a moment of unity, and a warning about what came next. The men who met were not presidents or generals, they were ordinary soldiers. On one side were American troops from the United States Army. Many belonged to the 69th Infantry Division, young men far from home, moving through a broken Germany. On the other side were soldiers of the Soviet Red Army, veterans of the Eastern Front, a front where entire cities were destroyed and millions of lives were lost. For Americans, the war in Europe was brutal. For the Soviets, it was a fight to survive. Now, both armies were closing in from opposite directions toward the same enemy. On April 25, 1945, the two forces finally met near the Elbe River in Germany, close to the town of Torgau. This moment became known as Elbe Day. It meant one thing: the war in Europe was almost over. Germany had been cut in half, its armies were trapped, and defeat was unavoidable. What makes this moment powerful is how it happened. There was no grand ceremony, no speeches, no planning. Small patrols met by chance across a river. They could not speak each other's language, but they understood each other. They shook hands, they smiled, some even embraced. They shared cigarettes, they shared food, they took photographs together. For a brief moment, the war felt finished. The timing could not have been more important. Berlin was surrounded, German resistance was collapsing. 5 days later, Adolf Hitler would die in Berlin. Less than 2 weeks after that, Germany would surrender. The meeting at the Elbe did not end the war, but it confirmed the end was certain. The Elbe River soon became more than a meeting place. It became a line. To the west stood American and Allied forces. To the east stood the Soviet Army. That line would divide Germany and later divide Europe. Former allies became rivals. Trust turned into suspicion, and the Cold War began. The handshake that symbolized unity also marked the beginning of a divided world. This moment still matters today. It reminds us that nations can work together in the face of great danger, but also how quickly alliances can change. It shows that history is not only shaped by leaders, but by ordinary people, meeting face to face at the end of a war. On April 25, 1945, American and Soviet soldiers met as allies on the banks of the Elbe River. They celebrated the end of one conflict, unaware that another global struggle was already beginning.